I know it. Yeah. But I'm telling you, I recommend him to you. I'll tell you what, the closer you get to him, the closer you want to get to him. I want to get so close we can march by the rhythm of his heart. Well, he's really, really, really good. Do you believe in angels, don't you? I'll tell you what happened to me, Jeff. I was off down in Brazil. And they had a sanctuary just about like this one, only the balcony was full of people and this part was full. And I'm here preaching, walking around like this, and they had the cameras just like these are shooting up on the screens here. And then suddenly, I see hundreds, multiple hundreds of me up in the air above the heads of the people in the balcony. Now, I go, wow, they've got technology to shoot like a hologram. That's what I thought. I'm sure God thought, well, he sure is dull. But so I'm watching me up in the air, hundreds of me up in the air. This is in Brazil, and I'd move, they'd move. I'd turn like this, they'd turn like, I'd turn back like this, and they'd turn that over. I thought, dear Lord, that is amazing. And then he goes, shoo, and all of those hundreds of me up in the air above the people's head in the balcony turned into angels that you could see. Each one of them had a writing instrument in their hand, and they started recording something. I said, God, who in the world is that? He said, that's the angels I have assigned to your message. They follow you to the meetings, and they watch the people in the meetings to see whose heart your message will turn, and then they're sealed. That's why they look like me. Isn't that amazing? I'm telling you, angels travel around with us. I was up there in Phoenix, Arizona, and Bob Jones, and we was preaching in a Patricia King meeting, and I walked by the front, and Bob's sitting right there, and Bob goes, hey, boy. That's what he talks to me about. And he goes, hey, boy. I said, yes, Bob. He said, there's a big angel with you. I said, yes, Bob, I can feel him, but I hadn't seen him. And Bob said, well, he's behind you, and he's big. So I went on down this way, but Patricia King was sitting by Bob, and she heard Bob say that. So she said to her videographer, the woman that takes pictures, said, start taking pictures. So she took a bunch of pictures, and guess what? The angel showed up in the pictures. Right behind me is this big old figure of fire, just looked like a burning man, maybe 3 times my size, and they shot it up on the screen, and people began to scream. And old Bob goes, yeah, I told you he's big. Yeah. Yeah. And angels come to the meetings. I'm telling you, you can feel them. People go, well, you know, I don't want to, you know. If you can't see something, how can you feel it? You can't see electricity. But can you feel it? See, that's just evidence of electricity, those lights. I strip this wire off here and you run your hand between that. You about to feel something, ain't you? Yeah. Look out. Hey, it's good. See, a lot of people want the prophets to be super, you know, super serious. It's okay, I read the back of the book, we win. There's not a toss-up to see how this is going to come out. It's okay. It's okay. Now, I know that but I'm tired of people having these preconceived ideas about how the prophets are supposed to be. Wonder what all this is over here. Hey, look here. Look here. You talked about them gemstones falling. I found a whole bucket full of them. You know, look here. Here. Look here. Seriously now, I better watch out. Seriously, most of the places we go and preach, diamonds fall. We've had people on their hands and knees picking up diamonds. I said that one time, and I looked and I said, well, here's one, and I kicked it like that, and the woman said, it's mine. It fell out of her ring. But it's true. But most of the times where we preach, diamonds fall. Now, I don't care about all that. I figure if God can drop one the size of a match head, he can drop one as big as a syrup bucket. You know what I mean? So I want him to do. But anyway, I better put these back. Hang on to that. It could turn into a real one, man. You know. Yeah. Let me tell you you believe in that kind of stuff, don't you? I'll tell you what happened to me once. I was in California. Yeah. But anyway, I was in California, and those diamonds got to falling in a meeting. And so they had, it's a wild church. You had them smoke machines, you know, couldn't hardly see who was next. You know when they had them lights? That'll work till the real glory gets here. You know what I mean? But anyway. But in that meeting, people were finding diamonds. And so the pastor's wife found something, and she came over there, and she was just as excited as a little kid. She said, "Is this one?" And she opened her hand, and so help me God, it looked like the bottom of a broke Coke bottle. But her heart was so excited because she said, "Look, it's this one." And I was just going to open up my mouth and say to her, "Honey, I don't think that's one." And then the Lord said, "Tell her to hold it in her hand during praise, and we'll see what happens." So I said, "Hold it in your hand during praise, and then we'll see what happens." So we're praising and singing, and she opened that thing, and Robert, I'm telling you, that thing had begun to take shape. And a little bit longer, it took shape again, and in a little while after the praise, the thing was cut into a perfect diamond. Started out, looked like a sliver off the bottom of a Coke bottle, and the Lord said that'll mean more to her than if she picked one up off the floor. See, don't say transformation. Believe it or not, you're one of his diamonds. In the book of Malachi, it says, "When I come to make up my jewels, my specially acquired treasure." And believe it or not, you are a work in the master's hands. You know what I mean? You feel broken and shattered, but I'm telling you, when he opens his hand, people will see what? A true diamond. Well, anyway, that kind of stuff happens, doesn't it? We're in a meeting once. Don't you like phenomenons? You know, well, maybe somebody dropped diamonds. I'm in a meeting, and I'm preaching on covenant. Covenant. And so I'm in this meeting. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm preaching on covenants. Guess what happened? 9 rainbows came and got in the parking lot of the church. 9's the number of covenant. Rainbow's the sign of covenant. You know, it's kind of hard to fake that. You know what I mean? We're in a meeting at a Morning Star meeting once, and it's a building big. The building was about like this. I guess 2,000 people in another. And anyway, it's a 2 o'clock meeting, and I'm sitting up there on the front, and the Lord said, "I want you to ask the people, how do you like the rain?" I looked out the door and I said, "God, we got a tiny problem. It ain't raining." He said, "The problem is you ain't announced it." You can get this is on footage somewhere. So I get up and I go, "Hey, how do you like this rain?" When I screamed, "Hey, how do you like this rain?" a clap of thunder came. It rained so hard it rained through the roof of the building. They had to set buckets out on the floor to catch the water. Now I'm telling you, there's power in your words. There's power in your words. I put my word in your mouth. And I love when Jeff was making some proclamations. You can speak over regions. You know that, don't you? And speak good over it. I'll tell you one time I went into a trance and I saw San Francisco. And I saw the debauchery and all this. And the Lord said, "Watch this." And I thought, oh my. And God is about to send a real baptism of love into the streets of San Francisco. And he said, "I'm going to cover a multitude of sin." It's amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing. He said, I'm going to raise up ministries that have such a heart of love and compassion that it'll transform that region. And so I believe that, don't you? I really do. I really do. And so I'm excited about being excited. Yeah. Good to see you. God bless your heart. How you doing? Come on, let's take a walk. Get up and stretch a little bit. It'll be good for you. How you been doing? This is Georgette's mama. She's just wonderful.
Yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah. God bless you. Good to see you. She hadn't changed a bit. One time I asked a real old lady in a building, I said, "Ma'am, have you lived here all your life?" And she said, "Not yet." I like old people and kids. They'll tell you the truth. You know what I mean? Good to see you.
Me too.
Yeah, boy. I don't want to get drunk and fall over, but who wants to be prayed? See, a lot of people think, well, they must push people down. We ought to give it a shot and see. You want to? Who wants to feel the Lord? You want to feel this guy in the green-looking shirt? Stand up just a second. What's your name? Barry? Hold your hands out. Just ask the Lord. Say, "Lord, I want this." Here, give it to him. Yeah. See there? You can feel it. I want a God you can feel, don't you? Yeah, I do. Stand up in the pink. Stand up there. Here, catch this. You ready? See, you can catch it. Yeah, it's contagious. Yeah. They said they won't hear it. Stand up. Here, take this. Take this. Just take it. You can have it. See? Nobody, what? See? God really wants people to be touched. Come on, big boy. Now, I know you. Yeah.